Hi everyone, my name is Erica and welcome to my channel, Erica's Everything. So as you guys can tell by the title, in today's video I wanted to talk about how YouTube has changed my life pretty much. And if you guys are new here, my name is Erica and feel free to subscribe and check out all of my other stuff down below. So without further ado, let's get into the video. It's not about how fast you go, it's about how far you go. And really on YouTube, it seems like most of your favorite creators will have at least 100 videos. Like if you look at any creator that you really like and follow that has a big following of over 1 million subscribers, most of them are going to have at least 200 videos, which means that they started from somewhere too. And it also means that they started probably from zero, just like you and I. And it definitely isn't something where you post one video and it just automatically does well. I think it really does humble you when you do post for the first time and you realize that not a lot of people are gonna see it, and that's okay too. And that's a part of the learning process. And it's definitely not a sprint, it is a marathon. And I feel like right now, I feel like I'm just on mile 2, where I'm just starting to get more used to the whole YouTube thing. Where I'm getting more used to being on camera. I'm starting to learn like different angles. I'm learning about lighting, I'm learning about sound, I'm learning about just different angles and storytelling, and also learning more about public speaking, which I don't know if this counts as public speaking, but if you've ever sat down in front of a camera with no audience or any sort of like either audible feedback or visual feedback from facial expressions, it's actually really hard to keep a conversation with no one. It's really just a stream of thought with yourself pretty much. I feel like if you look at my older videos, you could definitely tell I wasn't comfortable being on camera and I wasn't comfortable talking to a camera. Another thing that YouTube has taught me is definitely consistency and commitment to a goal. And it's like I could have quit right away after my first video flopped, and after my second video flopped, and after my third video, and so on and so forth. And I could have quit right away after that when I started realizing that I wasn't going to be a viral sensation overnight. But I think it really taught me that everything does take time. And it's like your efforts, your time, and your energy that you put into your goals will always stack up. Like your energy is never wasted, it is always stored. So by putting in one video into a bucket, you keep adding more videos, it just creates more experience and it creates a level up every single time. And I think making videos and pursuing YouTube really taught me that. I feel like another thing that YouTube has taught me is in-demand skills. Like I actually really started out with 0 skills in any sort of YouTubing department. It was kind of just like a urge where I was like, oh, I do want to try doing YouTube. And oh my goodness, just learning how to upload my first video was a struggle in itself. I had to learn Final Cut Pro, which was a software that I've never used before. But it is definitely an in-demand skill, and I'm definitely a very beginner at it. Like I only know the basics, and even then I still go back to YouTube videos to teach me other basics. I had never taken a class in photography or video editing or any sort of artistic thing that was digital. So I was all learning by hand, and I thought that was really cool that I was able to learn that all by hand and pretty much all like on my own, where it's like I had to figure out lighting, I had to figure out sound, I had to figure out cutting videos, I had to figure out pretty much just editing in general. Editing definitely takes a long time and I'm still getting used to it. But I think that's a super in-demand skill right now of like wanting people to know how to edit videos and how to create content digitally for social media. And I feel like this definitely helped me a lot, where it's like I just started doing more social media posting and like I started figuring out like branding and marketing and social media management in general, and also doing like video editing. But I feel like I've come a long way, and you guys can still see my first video that I ever posted, which was my skincare routine video, which I'll also link in the description below if you want to check out how far I've come since then. I feel like YouTube has definitely got me more comfortable with in-demand skills such as like editing, branding, creating video content, and video production and filming, and also scripting and public speaking. Like those are all things that I had to learn, and I feel like that is definitely something that I'm able to take with me and to present to future brands or also to future companies of a way to market myself and be like, oh, these are the skills that I know how to do. And I do find that during interviews, there are some places or companies where they do ask about like my social media management experience, and also they ask about like video content and video editing. Which brings me to my next point, which is just faking it till you make it. Like, I'm really just learning as I'm going along, and I'm really just trying to market myself and brand myself, where it's like I'm trying to make sure that I focus on the highlights of me and then improve on my shadows, I guess. Where it's like, that's kind of like the whole reason why I wanted to create this channel of just being Erica's Everything, is I wanted to better myself and improve myself and just kind of share that journey with you guys of just me living life and figuring it all out, because I am a 20-something-year-old who is just trying to figure it out too. And I feel like a lot of us are in that same boat. So with faking it till you make it, I feel like that also brings me to my next step of confidence. I feel like this actually gave me a whole newfound confidence in myself because of the fact that I was able to learn new skills, where I'm able to actually take a concept or an idea and make it into a product or an actual video, where I'm able to share my thoughts and my ideas with other people in a more concise, creative way where they're able to understand me. And I feel like the ability to take an idea or a story or a thought and to make it into something that is comprehensible for other people, that you're able to share it, is something that's really cool that I haven't been able to do before. And it also showed me that I can do hard things and that I can still learn. Like, I feel like this also taught me where I will forever be a student, because it's like I do want to keep improving myself and I do want to learn new skills. And this kind of taught me where it's like, as long as you have some time, consistency, and dedication, like, you're able to learn. So speaking of hard things, here comes my next point, is that I actually learned how to deal with hate a little bit more. So I actually got my first ever hate comment. It really just kind of taught me how to deal with hate and to not take myself too seriously. So yeah, it definitely taught me how to deal with hate comments or just any sort of negative comments that you get in general, which they are bound to come, and I'm sure that that will definitely not be the last of them. And it kind of just taught me to not take it too seriously and to just keep going, and that for every 10 positive comments that you get, which I'll put up on the screen right now, these are all the positive comments that I've gotten, and I love them so much, and thank you guys so much for that. You'll always get like that one negative comment that tries to ruin your day, but don't let it ruin your day. Another way YouTube has changed my life or has taught me new things is it's helped me problem solve, where there was always times where I would be editing or dealing with problems as they arise, where it's like, oh, like, how do I export a video, like, or like how to blur people or how to crop it to make it smaller or any sort of thing like that, or like color correcting, or how do I add text. Those were all new to me. And then same thing with background music, like how do I add background music? I learned all that too. And that also goes hand in hand with it teaching me that I'm a forever student, where I can learn new skills on my own and the limit is myself. The only one stopping me from learning this is me. I think the biggest thing to take away is the fact that everything does take time. Like, it's not going to be an overnight success or anything like that. And I don't even believe in like the whole overnight success thing, because it took years of practice to get to that one night that changes everything. And that's kind of just the whole lesson of it, is that we all started from zero and we just work our way up from there. And I feel like I'm starting from zero as well. So far it's been a really humbling experience, because of the fact that it really showed me how much editing and time goes into making a YouTube video. And that was something that I had never known previously. But now that I've actually tried it, it really did teach me that like it's not as easy as it looks. It really did teach me that you just have to do it scared and just do it anyways. And I think that was something that I was struggling with, where it was kind of like hard to even start, because it's like, where do you even start? It's like there's so many steps towards it, but I think you just learn as you go along. So it was like, first you need to get a laptop, first you need to get a hard drive, first you need to get a camera, first you need to get lighting, and then first you need to get like software so that you can edit. And I was like, oh, first you need to create your channel, and then it's like, what are you gonna call it? And what's gonna be your brand? What are you gonna talk about? Like, what are your videos gonna be about? And it's just like, that was just, I feel like that's just so much to start with. And I think that's a video for another day of like how to start a YouTube channel. And I think the coolest part about this whole content creating journey is the fact that I'll always have this whole library of just videos to look back on of me just living life and doing things. Like, I'm really just capturing small moments throughout my day that I'll be able to look back on later. And I think that's really cool, is just to look at like mini vlogs that I make and be like, oh, like that's how my life was going at that moment. And I just find that I've gotten so many beautiful moments captured forever on camera and film, where I wouldn't have been able to have those moments had I not bought in my camera, and had I not wanted to actually film content, and had I not actually wanted to try to pursue content. And it's like, oh, now that I know how to use a camera, I'll always be able to capture small moments throughout my life now. And I've been able to capture some super special moments, which I'll do a little montage of right now. Oh my god. Dang, watching those moments back really makes me happy, because I remember that those moments were really, really cute. So I think another thing that YouTube has changed my life on is to be vulnerable. Like, no one's perfect, and I think we all know this, where it's like, no one's perfect, no one has everything together. And I know that we all try to come across as we have everything together, and I know that we all want to think that. And it's kind of tough, because you need someone to speak up in order for other people to feel safe enough to say that they feel that same way. I think being vulnerable really makes you more human. I think being vulnerable kind of creates that sense of community and that sense of togetherness, where we're all dealing with similar struggles. And I think that's really interesting, because it kind of shows us that what we won't do for ourselves, we will do for others. And I think the reason for that is because we definitely don't like being embarrassed, and also just failing in front of our peers. So when we do take that public pledge of accountability, like, we have a motivation to actually strive towards it, because we don't want to be someone who backs down from their word. And so for me, I started doing YouTube videos as like a way to kind of just get myself out of bed, and to kind of just like keep myself accountable, where it was like, oh, I was doing cleaning videos, I was doing like journaling videos, I was doing exercise videos, because I knew if I had to film it and if I had to actually put it publicly to the world, that I would need to hold myself accountable, because I knew that some people would ask me, being like, oh, like, did you ever start that YouTube channel? Or like, oh, like, did you ever get into exercising? Or, oh, did you ever take that trip? And it's just like, now that I have a YouTube channel, I find myself being a lot more motivated to stay on top of the goals that I do say out loud, because of the fact that I'm actually filming it now. So the whole idea of this public pledge is that once you actually tell people, besides yourself, or once you announce it to others and you have an audience, that kind of gives you a drive, because of the fact that they are going to hold you accountable. So it's kind of just like, if you tell your friends that you are going to exercise, they will remind you about it much more often than you'll remind yourself, where they'll ask you about it and they'll be like, oh, how's that going? And I think that's kind of like the same reason why a lot of people like to do like New Year's resolutions, where I think it kind of brings with it like the whole public accountability, where it's kind of like, oh, you said that you would do it, so everyone is going to kind of hold you accountable to it. Where I think if you just say it to yourself, you're more likely to just slack off, because it's just to yourself. Rather than if you had told your parents or your friends, then you would have a little bit more motivation to actually follow through, because of the fact that you announced it to your friends, and they will keep you accountable so that you do make progress on that. And yeah, I feel like those videos definitely kept me accountable because of the fact that I was filming it for a YouTube video. Whereas if I wasn't filming it, then I would probably quit like halfway through and just be like, oh, like no one's gonna see it, no one will know if I skip a day, but you'll only know unless you try. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys for making it to the end. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and please consider subscribing for more videos about me. I try to do fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and self-improvement, and like a little bit of fitness. And definitely do one thing that scares you as long as it's safe. Just try something new. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!